Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Zach Dickinson here on a wonderful Wednesday evening with another wonderful TV movie video for TV Movie Wednesdays. And so we have a new video today. Ignore the background of wrestling just playing. We have what is the best Spider-Man movie of all time, at least since 2000. There are a few that came out before 2000, but the main ones that everyone will want to talk about are the ones that have come out since the year 2000, of course, starting with the Sam Raimi trilogy and going all the way to the most recent and very popular Spider Man Brand New Day. We have 11 total films, the Sam Raimi trilogy, the two Amazing Spider Man, the two Spider Verse films, and the four Spider-Man MCU films of Tom Holland. And so we have all 11 to break down and tell where each and every single one is. Some will be controversial, some will be hot, some will be cold, some will be reasonable, some will be new. Let's get on into it right now. And so coming in at number 11 is, unfortunately, I love I love this movie, but it is The Amazing Spider Man 2 because of the simple fact that it sucks. The I love Andrew Garfield as Spider Man. I love Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. I love the characters of these movies, but overall, this movie just sucks. Electro plus Green Goblin. They did too much in this film, and they just didn't execute Electro all that well. CGI was also not that great. Um, and I just think that this is the worst of the two of the Amazing Spider-Man films. However, it's not that far lower than The Amazing Spider-Man, which comes in at number 10. Why is this here at number 10 and above The Amazing Spider-Man 2? I think it's just a little bit better because of Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy's relationship, not even the fact that the villain is arguably worse. It's just the introduction of Peter with Gwen, with Oscorp, and everything in between. How Peter is portrayed. I love Flash Thompson in here, going from bully to sympathetic and going on Peter about how it must be hard dealing with his Uncle Ben's death and everything like that. So I do like this film. I think it's slightly better than Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not really so much with the villain. I think the villains are pretty much the same on bad. Like the lizard just wanting to quite literally turn everyone into lizards is just not the right execution. Again, it could be better. But it also could have been worse. And so that's number 10. Unfortunately, both of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man films are the two worst. Um, and we'll keep the trend going with talking about old Spider-Man films, and we'll go with number 9 is Spider-Man 3, the last Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. He originally wanted to split 3 into 3 and 4, but he had to put all this in here. We have Spider-Man versus Sandman, Harry Osborn Green Goblin. We have the Venom stuff. We have Eddie Brock. Um, what else? Feels like I'm missing stuff. But those are the main things with this film. And I do like this film, but I do also agree that this film has way too much in it. It has way too much villains. They could have done a fourth film very easily. We didn't need to end with a trilogy, and I do agree that this was just poorly executed. We also just rewrote Mary Jane and Peter Parker's same exact storyline for the third film in a row, really. And so, yeah, that's all a big hamper on things. And so, but hey, we'll now step away from the older films and go into probably a hotter take. But coming in at number 8 is Spider-Man No Way Home. Great film, great phenomenal film, but relies entirely on nostalgia. After you see No Way Home for the first time, every other time it's just like, what's the point of this film? Peter Parker's identity is out. Um, and then we have multiverse in here. Doctor Strange, Peter Parker goes, them, I want this whole situation that's caused by the end of Mysterio to go away. Doctor Strange, wonderful addition. MJ, Ned, great parts in this film. But, A, Dr. Connors and Sandman, they're actual actors. We use old footage of both of them, which is a hamper. William Dafoe plays a top tier role in this, but there's nothing really new. The whole plot point is we have multiversal villains, no new villain at all, which I feel like we could have at least introduced one new villain, and it could have been something better, a good bit better. Not saying he could have been the main villain or anything like that, but we have a lot more of the Spider Man Rogues Gallery that we could have introduced here to bounce off and have that villain come back later. We could have even had Scorpion in this film as well. Um, it's also the fact that all these different villains have been defeated, and we know that they've been defeated. This is a great and wonderful film. It's not like the past few films where there's too much, where it's just bad, or anything of the sort. This is a great and wonderful film, but it's down here because it has no real actual story implications of newness at all. Um, it still hits hard with Aunt May's death. Green Goblin is still great and all that, everything in between, but it's just the worst of the Tom Holland movies, which No Way Home being the worst is just says a lot, really. And now coming in at number 7, we have the previous movie to No Way Home. We have Spider-Man Far From Home. You may be asking yourself, why is neither Spider-Verse movies here yet? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Why is Spider-Man 1 or 2 from Sam Raimi not here yet? They're great films. This is literally number 7. We're towards the middle of the pack here now. Far From Home is here because we continue the trend of the Tom Holland films of no New York based films. No Way Home was the first New York based film, and it really only really takes place in their school and the Statue of Liberty. Very few, and his apartment. Very few other places. The sanctorium that the wizards are at as well. But Far From Home, great Mysterio villain, um, great and wonderful Mysterio, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Nick Fury, and Maria Hill. All that situation was phenomenal and great. This being the pretty much only project directly after Endgame, so we're soaking in everything, all the consequences, the blip, the 5 year time gap is being addressed here, and so it's great and wonderful. My only qualm and issue is we could have done this whole film in New York, and it would have been just fine. Or we could have done the whole summer vacation trip in like part of the film, and then they come to New York for the latter bit of the film, which would have still been confusing, but it probably would have been a bit better overall. And so I have this down here at number 7. I have it here to where it's now pretty much one of the a great film, but not one of the best Spider-Man films. So then we move on over into number 6, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I will say pretty much from this point forward, all the films are great. Pretty much from Far From Home onwards, all the films are great, and I don't really have any real issues, and these are all really my opinions at this point. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, great film, wonderful film. Um, It's just not one of my top five or top three or top two or one favorites or whatever. Great and wonderful film. Great introduction to Spider Verse and multiverse shenanigans. A lot better than how No Way Home introduces multiverse and does multiversal shenanigans. Spider Gwen, Miles Morales Spider Man, Peter Parker Spider Man, all different universes. We also have that was like a ant or something on the wall. We also have a few other different Spider-Men, like 2099, I believe, is also in this film, and we have like the Dot one here as well. And so we have a wonderful, wonderful film. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is a wonderful beginning of the Into the Spider-Verse or Spider-Verse Spider-Man films. And so it's just a wonderful introduction, and I love it. Now we have number five, the top five, where we have Spider Man Homecoming, the best of the home trilogy of Tom Holland. It is by far the best of the Tom Holland Spider Man films up to through the first three. Um, it's the most grounded, it's the most realistic, most grounded, the most Peter Parker in New York. Or, well, he has a few trips here and there, which I see how they evolved from here to Far From Home with more trips. And so we have this, two more going from New York to DC and stuff like that, which I don't mind it as much as Far From Home since we're in New York for a large portion of the film. And so I don't really mind that. Iron Man, Tony Stark plays a pivotal role here, and he is phenomenal. This is the coming of age and the growing up of Peter Parker, Spider Man, all throughout this movie, and it's a wonderful, wonderful Spider Man movie, and it's the best Tom Holland Spider Man movie until this year. And so now we have our top four. We have Spider Man Across the Spider Verse, the better of the two Spider Verse films. Amazing, amazing top tier writing, animation. You'd go from Into the Spider Verse here across the Spider Verse here. So much better and so much expanding. We have 2099's pretty much whole origin here. We have, I forget what the Dot thing is called, but we have the Dot evolving as character, Spider Gwen, Peter Parker Spider Man, Miles Morales Spider Man, all getting large roles. We have Spider Noir as well. We have alternate universe Miles, alternate universe Prowler, and so all around a great and fantastic film, and it is wonderful. I just don't have it in my top three. I prefer the last three more. And so we have Spider Man 1, Spider Man 2, and Brand New Day is left. And so coming in at number three of our final three, number three, third place, we have Spider Man 1, the first Spider Man film of the 21st century. It is the second best of the Sam Raimi trilogy. It is the best Peter Parker origin story. We even have wrestling in here as well. Him defeating Macho Man Randy Savage. Um, and so it is a great and wonderful, wonderful film. Green Goblin is pretty much Spider Man's best villain, in my opinion, as he was the best villain in Spider Man 1 and the best villain in the in No Way Home. And so, great and wonderful villain, great Norman Osborn origin story, great Harry Osborn origin, great Spider Man and Mary Jane interactions. We have Spider Man and Mary Jane, Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and all stuff like that. And so, a great and wonderful, wonderful film. Uh, any issues? Not really. Just not as good as the last two. The last two is number. The last two is Spider-Man 2 and Brand New Day. What is number one? What is number two? Well, coming in at number two, second overall, is Spider-Man 2. This is probably the hot take right now. of the debate of whether or not Spider-Man 2 or Brand New Day is the best. I have Spider-Man 2 as second best. It is a 10 out of 10 film, a wonderful film. Doc Ock is one of the best villains of all time. Probably the best Spider-Man villain, or second best. I would say the story is just better than Spider-Man 1, and the fact that we're not telling an origin story here, I would still say Green Goblin is overall better as a villain in Spider-Man 1, but Spider-Man 2 has a better story. The storyline between Peter and Mary Jane is great. Her almost marrying J. Jonah Jameson's son. The whole Doc Ock, Mary Jane, Peter Parker, Spider-Man storyline, that was amazing. Doc Ock turning into Doc Ock with the limbs, and the limbs basically taking control of him through an AI thing, which is quite funny since this film came out in about 2004. So, all in all, this is a 10 out of 10 film. I just think Brand New Day is better. Coming in at number one is Brand New Day. Why it is the best Spider-Man film. It is just the best Spider-Man film. We have a litany of villains. We have the story. We have Ned, MJ, Peter, Spider-Man all interacting again for the first time in 4 years. Ned and Peter are seemingly about to be best friends again. We have all the different characters, Spider-Man, Peter, Punisher, Frank. Their relationship makes the film as great as it is. Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, amazing. The VMAX twist is amazing and top tier. The fact that VMAX was just the last thing Jean Grey's sister saw as a vent was great because it proves that the director of Damage Control truly had no clue what VMAX is, and we all was like, oh, she just died in this room. She just died here. Period. She just died here. This is just the last thing she saw as a warning to Jean Grey and to spark her hunt towards Damage Control, and that this was probably only a few months ago or even weeks ago. Presumably, Jean Grey started all this stuff probably even a few days after Sarah Gray's message, which was notably about 2 months before this film, a month or two roughly 6 to 8 weeks before the film, Sarah Gray dies, and Jean Grey goes on this rampage, using Scorpion and a few other different characters and villains. Damage Control being the villain is a wonderful continuation, as they've been pretty much the villain throughout the multiverse saga, through different movies and TV shows. They've been a very big villain. Just this was their first big center stage time that they were the villains overall. I am going to be making a video about Spider-Man Brand New Day and breaking it down very, very soon. That'll be on this upcoming Monday, and I'll see you all Friday, as it'll be after I've watched the entirety of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. All the films. I recently read the books and finished that just 2 months ago, and so this Saturday will be a comparison between book and film. And so I'll see you all Saturday, and the return of the weekly recaps on Sunday. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe. Goodbye. God bless you all. Hope to see you Friday towards the end of the week.